As you all know, I am an enlisted member in the United States Air Force, and because I'm an enlisted member in the United States Air Force, enlisted history or enlisted heritage is somewhat of important to myself and to my fellow airmen. Enlisted history is in our promotion testing, and it also gives us an idea of, why we have to do things that we do in the military every day. My name is Jenniges, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Master Sergeant Henry E. Irwin. If you look at my visual aids, he is slide number 1. First, I would like to talk about some of his enlisted background and where he came from. Master Sergeant Irwin was born on May 8th in 1921 in Adamsville, Alabama. He joined the Army Reserves from nearby Bessemer on July 27, 1942. While he was in the reserves, he was then called to active duty in 1943 as an Army, or with the Army Air Corps, and he trained in Ocala, Florida as an aviation cadet. Well, while he was going through his aviation cadet training, he was disqualified and washed out due to a flying deficiency, and he became a radio operator. Well, he graduated from his training in 1944, and he was then assigned to the 52nd Bombardment Squadron, which was part of the 28th Air Force, and he did this as a staff sergeant. After he was eliminated from training and reassigned to the 52nd Bombardment Squadron, Master Sergeant Irwin was then assigned to a B-29 Superfortress called the City of Los Angeles as a radio operator. Now, the B-29 Superfortress, if you look at my visual aid, slide number 2, you'll see that it's a fairly large plane. On April 12, 1945, the B-29 Superfortress was doing a low-level attack on a chemical plant in Koriyama, Japan. Master Sergeant Irwin was a radio operator, but he was also assigned an additional duty as but throwing phosphorus bombs down out of the chutes of the airplane. Now, for those of you who don't know, phosphorus bombs, they burn at 1100 degrees. So it could be fairly dangerous. Well, on that fateful day, he was ordered to put phosphorus bombs down the chutes of this airplane, and one prematurely ignited in the chute, and when it did, it exploded back into the airplane. Well, Master Sergeant Irwin, or Staff Sergeant Irwin at the time, being the supreme warrior that he was, and tried to be and exhibit all of our core values, first thought, well, I'm going to save the airplane. So he picked up this phosphorus bomb that was 1100 degrees and endured severe burns and tried to get it out of the airplane. So while he was trying to maneuver through the airplane to get to the cockpit to throw it out the co-pilot's window, there were different obstacles in the way, such as one of them was a table. He dropped the phosphorus bomb, and he had to move around the table, pick it back up, and he held it like a football in between his arm and his side, and he actually sustained severe burns on his side, his arms, his hands, his face, and he actually burned the retinas of his eyes. Now, he was able to make it to the cockpit and throw the bomb out of the window, but upon doing that, he collapsed in between the pilot's and the co-pilot's seat. They didn't know if he was going to live. But the most important thing is that Master Sergeant Irwin, he saved the air crew of the City of Los Angeles on that day, on April 12, 1945. He was then presented the Medal of Honor within a matter of hours, and he was also the second enlisted member to have an award named after him, which is in slide number 3, the Medal of Honor recipient's plaque that is pretty important. Master Sergeant Irwin displayed warrior ethos, and the way that he displayed it was absolutely astounding. I mean, to pick up an 1100 degree bomb and try to get it out of an airplane, that is extreme service before self, and it's a very honorable thing in the eyes of us enlisted members. Now, within hours of the mishap, a Medal of Honor was approved by the Army Air Force officials and was flown to Guam, where he was actually recovering to be presented to him while he was still alive. They didn't think he was going to live with all the burns that he sustained. However, he did live, and he survived his wounds, and in 1997 he received the Outstanding Enlisted Air Crew Member Year Award, which was named after him, being the second enlisted member to have an award named after him. It's a very high honor in the Air Force as a crew member. Now, I have spoken about Master Sergeant Henry E. Irwin, his enlisted background, along with the heroic act that he committed, and finally the significance of his heroic actions. Master Sergeant Henry E. Irwin is truly a hero in today's enlisted force within the Air Force. Thank you for listening, and this man is a hero in my eyes. Have a good night.